Renowned Stoic Musonius Rufus wisely stated, "Even if one faces difficulties, if at least one does a good deed, the hardship will pass, but that good deed will remain forever." These wise words teach us that even after fleeting moments have passed, the value of our good choices will continue. As people navigate the complexities of life and the expectations of society, some lessons are realized far too late. To address these challenges beforehand, we will present to you the 7 essential lessons that many people often understand belatedly, based on Stoic philosophy. When embraced in time, these insights can transform hardships into victories and regrets into pillars of growth. So, be sure to watch these lessons until the very end. Let us carefully review these important lessons and learn how to define the purposeful, clear path in life that we need. If you wish to help others besides yourself, please support the spread of Stoic philosophy by liking the video. And if you want to take easy steps in your life, I recommend subscribing to the channel and activating notifications so that you never miss a new video. Lesson number 1. The power of a human in the present. Imagine yourself standing by a flowing river, where the water symbolizes the fleeting moments of our lives. Some moments shine like vivid memories, while others are veiled by regret or anxiety. Many of us find ourselves swept along this current, desperately trying to grasp remnants of the past or reaching out toward the uncertainties of the future. In doing so, we neglect the present moment, the water immediately surrounding us. The renowned philosopher Marcus Aurelius described time as a continuously flowing river of moments that we cannot control. The river's powerful current, on the other hand, represents the relentless passage of these precious moments. Yet, what remains in our control is solely our perspective and our ability to respond. To help you visualize this, imagine a musician performing on stage. If he dwells on a mistake made just a few minutes ago or grows anxious about an upcoming challenging passage, his performance in the present may falter. This must never happen. His highest expression emerges when he fully masters every note and vibration of his instrument. Likewise, our most valuable experiences occur when we are completely immersed in the present moment. Picture in your mind a meal you recently savored. By focusing solely on its taste, texture, and aroma without any distracting thoughts, you truly grasped the essence of that moment. Similarly, consider the conversations you have with your loved ones. When you are entirely present, listening attentively, and cherishing the time spent together, your relationships become deeper and more meaningful. Do not misunderstand this. Being fully present does not mean rejecting the past or completely ignoring the future. The insights and observations of Heraclitus, who lived before the Stoics, regarding the transience of life, have profoundly influenced their teachings. He noted that it is impossible to step into the same river twice, for both the river and the individual are constantly changing. This illustrates the ever-changing nature of existence. Each moment is unique, and once it passes, it cannot be relived in the same way. If we learn to appreciate these truths in due time, we will truly savor the flavor of life. By valuing the present moment, we not only enrich our current experiences but also create more vivid memories for the future, adding incomparable colors to our lives. As we drift along the river of life, it is worth asking ourselves, do we always want to chase after or wait for moments? Or do we wish to fully embrace the richness of the present? The choice is now entirely ours. Feel the power of the present moment and seize it without delay. Lesson number 2. External evaluation is transient. In our modern era, it has become common to measure our worth based on the opinions of others. Let's express this idea as follows. We strive for likes in the virtual world, work hard to gain recognition in our workplaces, and most importantly, constantly seek validation in our personal relationships. However, this pursuit is like searching for water in a desert. Just as we think we are getting closer, it moves further away, leaving us in a state of endless longing. The famous Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Never wish for events to happen as you want them to, but rather, wish for them to happen as they do, and your life will go more smoothly." When we truly grasp this idea, We realize that if we tie our happiness and self-worth to external validation, we surrender our inner peace to the unpredictable and ever-changing world. In today's society, where circumstances and events are constantly shifting, this can create an unstable and distressing situation. For example, let's consider social media influencers. Their status is largely determined by the fluctuating number of followers, likes, and comments. However, digital platforms change rapidly. What is trending today might be forgotten tomorrow. If a person builds their self-worth on such fleeting indicators, they may find themselves trapped in a cycle of constant anxiety and disappointment. Yet, Stoic philosophy offers a different perspective. It encourages us to shift our focus away from external validation and instead turn inward toward our core values. By grounding ourselves in unchanging principles such as wisdom, integrity, and compassion, we can develop a strong sense of self that remains steadfast despite the ever-shifting tides of public opinion. Thus, as we navigate through life, we must continually ask ourselves, do we want our worth to be defined by external, often arbitrary measures? Or do we seek a deeper, more stable sense of self based on our inner values? If we choose the latter, we may discover that it holds the key to true contentment and self-assurance. Lesson number 3. What we own does not define our worth. We are currently living in an era dominated by luxury and consumer culture. Around us, there are towering skyscrapers, high-speed luxury cars, and alluring designer brands. These possessions are often perceived as status symbols and indicators of personal value. However, if we delve deeper into Stoic philosophy, we find a completely different perspective, one that always prioritizes the essence of true worth. Marcus Aurelius once wisely said, "Very little is needed to live a happy life because everything is within you and your way of thinking." This idea reminds us that while material wealth may bring comfort, it is not the key to true inner fulfillment. Imagine in your mind two painters you know. One is famous, his artworks sell for vast sums, granting him a luxurious life. However, his happiness is always dependent on external validation. He constantly waits for the next sale, as his life is tied to his earnings. The other painter, in contrast, is not commercially successful, yet he finds deep joy in the creative process itself. He values every brushstroke and the emotions embedded in his work. His wealth is not in money, but in contentment, not in fame, but in self-awareness. Stoic philosophy teaches us that material possessions are temporary. They can be lost, stolen, or lose their value over time. However, virtues like wisdom, honesty, and compassion are eternal treasures. They never decay, never fade, and always illuminate our lives from within. While material comforts may add beauty and variety to our journey, our true value is not determined by external wealth, but by our inner principles and the strength of our character. Let us always allow Stoic wisdom to inspire us to build a life where our worth is not measured by what we own, but by who we are and by the depth of our understanding and compassion. Lesson number 4. The difference between control and influence. In the modern era, a deeply ingrained tendency in human psychology persists. Essentially, this tendency is the desire to control our lives, circumstances, and the world around us. However, Stoic wisdom presents us with a completely different perspective. It teaches us to distinguish between what is entirely within our control and what we can merely influence. The famous Stoic philosopher Epictetus expressed this truth in a remarkably simple yet profound way. He stated that we have complete control only over our rational choices and the moral will that arises from them. In contrast, our body, physical attributes, possessions, parents, relatives, children, the country we were born in, and other such factors are beyond our control. These should always be given special attention. Let's illustrate this with a modern example. Imagine you are a sailor navigating the open sea. The things under your command include steering your ship, determining its direction, and maintaining its technical condition. These are the elements you can control. However, ocean currents, changing weather conditions, and hidden obstacles beneath the water are not subject to your will. They lie beyond your control. Nevertheless, with skill, experience, and the right strategy, you can adapt to these factors and optimize your ship's movement accordingly. Although this distinction may seem simple at first glance, it carries significant importance. If we direct our energy toward things we cannot control, we will only experience frustration and stress. On the other hand, identifying the areas where we can exert influence and focusing on them allows us to act more purposefully and efficiently. Consider, for example, a professional working within a team. They cannot fully control their colleagues' behaviors, attitudes toward work, or punctuality. However, by improving communication, setting an exemplary standard, and fostering a collaborative environment, they can influence the overall team dynamics. In this way, they achieve their goal. The Stoic principle of control is a powerful tool for modern life. When we embrace this philosophy, instead of exhausting ourselves trying to manage everything, we focus our energy on areas where we can truly make an impact. As a result, by accepting what we cannot control, we attain inner peace and maximize our potential in areas where our influence is most effective. Applying this Stoic strategy to our lives is a crucial factor for success. Lesson number 5. Emotional mastery is true strength. In various cultures and societies, emotional expression, especially when perceived as vulnerability, has often been mistakenly equated with weakness. Men, in particular, have been influenced by this stereotype and have maintained a resolute appearance in the face of challenges. However, Stoic philosophy teaches us a different lesson to resist this influence. According to the Stoic lesson, true strength does not lie in suppressing emotions, but in being able to control them. One of the prominent figures of Stoic thought, Seneca, stated that we are not given complete control over everything. Although he said this regarding the general course of life, this idea is also highly relevant to emotions. Feelings are an inseparable and inevitable part of human nature. Therefore, denying or suppressing them is not only a futile attempt, but can also lead to deeper internal conflicts. Emotions can be compared to powerful rivers. When a river flows uncontrollably and without direction, it can overwhelm our thoughts and lead us astray. If we turn this into a positive aspect, the opposite can be true, and it can greatly benefit us. To gain from this, if we use proper barriers, channels, and direction, those same rivers can become a great source of energy, pushing us forward. In this explanation, emotional management does not mean restricting the flow of water, but rather efficiently channeling its energy. In our daily lives, emotional control can manifest in different ways. For instance, when feeling anger, one can try to understand its root cause and express it in a constructive rather than destructive way. Similarly, when feeling sadness, instead of suppressing it, one can allow space for it, grieve, seek support, or engage in self-care as healthy coping mechanisms. The famous Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius emphasized that strength does not lie in avoiding hardships, but in how we confront and shape them. When emotions are properly guided, they can become a powerful tool. Emotions can help us understand our inner world more deeply, pursue our passions, and build deeper connections with others. Thus, Stoic teachings remind us that emotional mastery is not about ignoring our feelings, but about understanding, respecting, and directing them with purpose. When we develop this skill, we do not just gain control over our emotions, but also align ourselves with a higher and more meaningful form of strength. By applying these lessons step by step in our lives over time, we can achieve the desired results. Lesson number 6. Accepting the brevity of time. One of the subtle yet profound aspects of Stoic philosophy is the deep understanding of life's transience. The topic of death may seem dark to some, but the Stoics viewed it as a powerful tool for living a purposeful life. In this lesson, through our joint explorations, we will provide you with a detailed explanation of this topic. Epictetus always advised us, do not delay in making use of your own resources. If you do, you will lose them. This does not apply only to material wealth, but also to our time, skills, and opportunities. Everyone lives, but not everyone realizes that each new day is both a gift and a subtle reminder of the limited nature of our existence. As an example, consider the grains of sand in an hourglass. Just as they flow ceaselessly, so too does time. Every passing second calls us to act, to love, to learn, and to contribute. In reality, this is not meant to create anxiety, but rather to serve as a stimulus that adds deeper meaning to our lives. It is essential to take advantage of this stimulus at all times. Understanding the limitations of time steers us away from meaningless distractions and directs us toward what truly matters. Only when you fully grasp this will life become truly fascinating to you. This can also be seen in our daily choices. Do we waste our valuable hours on fleeting and superficial pleasures? Or do we dedicate our time to pursuits that nourish our souls, strengthen our minds, and elevate our spirits? Additionally, do we create unforgettable moments with our loved ones? Do we leave behind a legacy that transcends time? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." In reality, this is not a call for sorrowful resignation, but rather a strong invitation to appreciate the present, to be sincere, and to act with honesty and determination. It is crucial to understand this call in time. When we acknowledge the limitations of time, we not only make productive plans, but also become wise stewards of our lives. Every decision gains value, and every moment becomes filled with purpose. In this state of awareness, we move closer to the Stoic ideal. With this mindset, we do not simply aim for a long life in years, but a life rich in depth and meaning. As long as you have time, make sure to use it wisely. Lesson number 7. To constantly improve oneself. The essence of Stoic thought is fundamentally based on personal growth and self-improvement. While the Stoics acknowledged the external influences and challenges of life, they firmly believed in a person's ability to develop, adapt, and refine themselves regardless of circumstances. This topic has always been widely discussed. One such discussion belongs to Seneca. Seneca once said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." By expressing this thought, he emphasizes that self-improvement is a lifelong process. It is not an endless race, but rather a long journey where the path itself becomes the goal. Imagine a piece of iron left unattended in the open air, whether in summer or winter. Over time, it will rust and decay. However, if the iron is carefully maintained, for example, continuously hammered and heated in a forge, it can be transformed into a sharp and durable sword. Similarly, if our minds and character are neglected, they weaken and stagnate. However, through conscious effort, discipline, and the fire of self-improvement, we can become stronger and more resilient. This Stoic principle can manifest in different ways in our daily lives. For example, we can acquire knowledge not only by reading books, but also by learning from life experiences and interpersonal relationships. Although it may be difficult, accepting criticism and using it as a tool for growth or setting aside our ego, acknowledging our weaknesses and actively working to improve them are also crucial matters. The more we apply these ideas in a timely manner, the easier and more meaningful our lives will become. In today's world, countless distractions exist, and despite this, the pursuit of instant gratification often takes precedence over long-term growth. In such an environment, the Stoic emphasis on sustainable development serves as a guiding light. It calls individuals to rise above mediocrity, challenge themselves, and understand that every step taken, every obstacle faced, and every hardship overcome contributes to shaping a wiser, stronger, and more refined self. Always take advantage of these principles as they serve as a ready-made roadmap for your journey. After conducting an in-depth exploration of this topic, it is worth taking a moment to reflect on the profound Stoic wisdom we have discovered. These insights help us choose the right path in modern life and encourage us to pause and think. Each lesson we have learned is not just a piece of knowledge. These teachings serve as a towering beacon, guiding us through life's countless challenges. Understanding these principles is as essential as breathing, but applying them to our daily choices and actions is what truly matters. I'm curious, which of these principles resonated with you the most? Have you ever experienced a moment in your life when you felt the impact of these teachings? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments so we can start a meaningful discussion together. As a modern society, each of us can become stronger by learning from one another, growing, and incorporating Stoic philosophy into our daily lives. These lessons are incredibly valuable, and it is essential to apply them at the right time. Remember, true wisdom is not just about acquiring new knowledge, but also about putting it into practice in your own life. That's all for today. Thank you all for being a part of this journey. Until our next Stoic gathering, stay thoughtful and keep evolving.